Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:35 p.m. It is the 29th of June and another month that has flown by. The 29th of the month already. Tomorrow the last day and we're into July. And from what we've seen so far here in Spain, or at least in many parts of the country, July looking to be also a very, very hot month. But I'll get on to the weather in just a moment as we're leading with that today, the heat wave that Spain is currently going through. We'll look at some other stories as well, and we'll also take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers, and the live chat around the 18-minute mark, 20-minute mark of the stream tonight. We'll go into the live chat and check out what is happening there among the viewers. So if you are watching live tonight, say hello. Or if you're not watching live, say hello in the comment section. I always appreciate it. Now, straight into the news. And as I said, it is hot here in Spain. In fact, so hot that records are being shattered, as we can see here. Heatwave shatters Spain's June temperature record with 46 degrees Celsius in El Granado in Huelva. Spain has recorded its highest ever June temperature, reaching an unprecedented 46 degrees Celsius in El Granado, Huelva, breaking the previous record of 45.2 degrees Celsius set in Seville in June 1965. This historic temperature spike was confirmed by the Spanish State Meteorological Agency, the AEMET. The extreme heat is expected to continue, with official warnings issued for thousands of municipalities across the country. According to data from the Ministry of Health and the AEMET, 1,096 municipalities are now classified as high risk for heat-related health issues, 1,679 at medium risk, and 2,840 at low risk. The intense heat is known to have direct health consequences and increases mortality rates. Researchers at the Carlos III Health Institute have identified threshold temperatures in various regions known as meteosalud zones, beyond which death rates rise significantly. These findings guide public health alerts which complement the temperature-based warnings issued by the AEMET. Spain remains on high alert as the heatwave shows no sign of easing. So there we are, the extreme temperatures in most parts of the country at the moment. Some 1,096 municipalities classified as high risk and breaking the temperature record. That place in Huelva in the south of Spain, a hot province of course down there on the border with Portugal, I imagine. 46 degrees Celsius was it? Wow, 46 degrees Celsius, beating the previous record that was set at 45.2 in Seville. Neighbouring provinces, of course, Seville and Huelva, I believe. And it is very, very, very hot. And the warnings are going out. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, the heat wave has taken some lives. I think 3 people so far have lost their lives, unfortunately, as a result of the heat. Today, another person died, but a man 34 died from heat stroke in Seville, Mallorca. A 34-year-old Dutchman, has died from heat stroke in Seville, Mallorca, after collapsing on the Camí de Sons Sales path on Thursday afternoon. Emergency services, including 2 ambulances, the Mallorca Fire Brigade, and a SAMU 061 support vehicle, responded to an alert received at around 2:50 p.m. Despite attempts to resuscitate him, the man was pronounced dead at the scene. This marks the second confirmed heat stroke death in Spain within a week, following the recent death of a seasonal worker of Pakistani origin in Fraga. Experts warn that symptoms such as headache, rapid heartbeat, and heavy sweating signal heat stroke, urging immediate action. Move to a shaded area, offer fluids like water or isotonic drinks, and remove excess clothing. Authorities continue to highlight the dangers of extreme heat, especially for outdoor workers and tourists. As temperatures across the country remain high during the summer months, the Civil Guard is investigating the incidents. And as I said, we can add an extra person to the death toll here. 3 people now reportedly have died from the heat here in Spain in recent times. The latest today was a public worker in the Barcelona province, I think, a rubbish collector who also just suddenly dropped to the ground and was pronounced dead as a result of the extreme heat, working in these extreme heat conditions. Not sure what the tourist was doing. I think I read that he was doing some type of exercise in that main part of the day for heat, 2 p.m. apparently. So the warning's not being heard by some people, unfortunately, because, as we know, you need to keep out of the heat, stay hydrated, and because it can be very dangerous, as we saw in that first article. And when the temperatures do hit the high 30s, low 40s, you stay indoors. And of course, the Pakistani worker there, a temporary worker, I think, as we saw there, working in the fields, also getting hit by the heat wave. And as I said, the public worker in Barcelona today. So if you're in Spain currently, or in another part of Europe that is experiencing these extreme temperatures, keep out of the heat in those peak hours of the day. Don't go running. I see people doing exercise at 2:30 in the afternoon or 3. It is absolutely crazy. I don't know what they're trying to do, trying to lose weight or stay fit, but at that time of the day, I don't think it's a good idea to be doing exercise. But again, I'm not a doctor, but that's what the recommendations are. Third piece of news now, and Spain is facing a dilemma. Tourist saturation or soaring prices. Spain is on track to welcome 100 million visitors in 2025, up from 93.8 million last year, but sustaining this 6.7% growth, especially over the busy summer months, is proving challenging. While arrivals rose 7.1% in the first 4 months of the year, maintaining this rate into peak season will be more difficult. Industry leaders argue the focus should shift from quantity to quality. Oscar Pirelli of Excel Tour stresses that economic and social contributions per visitor are more important than hitting numerical milestones. The sector aims to boost income through better paid jobs, higher quality services, and premium pricing. Evidence of this shift can be seen in the hotel industry, where 4- and 5-star accommodation is on the rise, overtaking traditional 3-star offerings. However, the growth of low-value tourism through holiday rentals poses a major threat, fueling overcrowding, offering limited employment, and significantly driving up housing costs in many tourist hotspots. So the dilemma Spain is facing: saturation or soaring prices, quality over quantity. That's the question that's being asked, and that's what the tourism industry wants to change the model to. Less people coming but spending more money, rather than the saturated model that has been the norm for many, many decades here, to get as many people into these places as possible. The low-cost tourism, if you like, and that is what is creating problems around the country, especially when it comes to some areas of accommodation and finding accommodation or longer-term accommodation, as we know, in cities here in Spain which have become tourist hotspots. Madrid, for example, now a tourist hotspot. Barcelona has been for years. Valencia, the short-term rentals popping up, and of course people are complaining. So prices will be increasing, no doubt, if the hotel industry or the tourism industry has its way. Quality over quantity is the motto there. We'll see if they can achieve this or not. And the final piece of news that we'll look at today, talking about Madrid and Barcelona, well, Madrid has overtaken Barcelona in quality of life despite higher costs. Madrid has surpassed Barcelona in terms of quality of life, even though it is the more expensive of the two. While being the capital enhances Madrid's economic potential and global profile, it also leads to higher living costs due to its central role in a more densely populated and economically active urban environment. The cost of housing and everyday goods is driven up by the capital effect, yet both Madrid and Barcelona still rank very well internationally. According to the 2025 Mapping of the World's Prices report by Deutsche Bank Research Institute, Madrid ranks 16th out of 69 cities worldwide, thanks to good healthcare and short commute times. Barcelona, which also suffers from high costs, ranks 43rd despite its better climate and access to the beach. The study, which resumed after the pandemic, assesses cities using housing, salaries, leisure transport, and consumer costs. Luxembourg, Copenhagen, and Amsterdam top the global list. So the debate that many people here in Spain have, the Madrid or Barcelona debate, which city is better, which city offers better quality of life? Well, officially, as we can see here, Madrid has taken the crown. Madrid, the best quality or the better quality of life out of those two cities there, although it is a pricier city given its role as the Spanish capital and a business capital, which is the fact here in Spain, all of the big multinationals having their headquarters in Madrid, of course, and all of the central state government organizations, as well as the Madrid government organizations as well. So lots of government activity going on in Madrid, pushing those prices up, but the quality of life here apparently better, according to that report. Let me know what you think. I've never lived in Barcelona, so I can't compare, but people out there no doubt have and can compare the two cities. Which one would you say offers the better quality of life, Madrid or Barcelona? Let me know in the comment section below. Comments time. We'll take a look at some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers. One here from Pedro. Puigdemont is also accused by the Supreme Court of embezzlement of public funds when he was the president of the Catalan Generalitat, which does not fall under the amnesty law. For this reason, he cannot yet return to Spain. Thank you very much, Pedro, for the comment. That is the issue Mr. Puigdemont is facing. The Supreme Court wants to get him on embezzlement charges, the money that allegedly was embezzled during that referendum stage, or I think it goes back to 2012. I'm not sure the exact dates. It might even be longer there, but there are some accusations of embezzlement, and of course they would like to see Mr. Puigdemont in court facing trial on those embezzlement charges, but of course he's not having any of that and is still out of the country, missing in action with his headquarters set up there in Waterloo in Belgium. He came back last year, was it, or earlier this year, and gave a rally to his loyal supporters. A couple of hundred people turned up, I think. That's the impact of Mr. Puigdemont currently, so a little bit irrelevant as far as politics is concerned for the majority of Spain. As I said, probably has some supporters in Catalonia, but the rest of the country couldn't really give two hoots about Mr. Puigdemont, and I'm sure that if you went out and did a survey right now and asked the question, Puigdemont to face trial or should he come back as a free man under the amnesty law, I reckon that outside of Catalonia, a lot of people would say he needs to face trial. But controversial subject, of course, and we'll see if the Supreme Court here in Spain ever gets its way and tries Mr. Puigdemont, because the central government would like that not to be the case, of course, as we know. Second comment here from Leah. The Express newspaper is such an alarmist when it comes to weather. In winter, they are always forecasting snow bombs or thunderclouds. Thanks, Leah, for the comment there. Yes, the Express, one of the many alarmist newspapers, sensationalist newspapers. They put an article out the other day warning people that are travelling to Spain now or have a trip planned to Spain during this heat wave, because I think also the UK has been very warm at the moment, breaking records too, or at least some parts of the UK. And people coming down to Spain, hopping off the plane and opening the door of the taxi or whatever, their car or whatever, when they get out, and bang, getting smacked by the heat. And the number one piece of advice from the Express the other day was drink lots of water. Drink lots of water. Stay hydrated. And that was also the advice that we saw there before. Drink water. Keep a hat on. What else can you do? Keep out of the sun, basically. That is the key. If you're walking down the street, try and walk down the side of the street that has shade, not the side that is in the sun. That would also be a recommendation. But thanks for that. And Leah's right. The Express newspaper, a little bit alarmist with its headlines. I would also agree. Let me know what you think. Janet's in the comment section here as well. Already 46 degrees in Seville today, my daughter tells me. Thanks, Janet. Don't know whether it was 46 because we saw the record being broken there, but maybe some thermometers were recording something similar to that. I'm sure it would be in the paper if it was 46 because that's the record, as we saw there before, for June. But again, Seville, one of the hottest parts of the country, not only the capital city, Seville, but also the entire province of Seville. Very, 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 very hot. Very, 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 very hot. Thanks, Janet, for that. Hope the family's getting by well with the heat and staying cool. I hope so. Another one here from Janet. Bad news for the Costa del Sol again. It's shameful that this kind of crime happens. Thanks, Stuart. Thanks, Janet, for that. We saw the other day. When was it? On Tuesday or Thursday? Can't remember exactly when it was, but there was another shooting on the Costa del Sol. Mijas, was it? Or Fuengirola, somewhere down there. A drive-by shooting, I believe it was. And 3 people were injured as a result, taken to hospital. Not sure of the nationality of the people, whether they were locals, whether they were foreigners, but there has been, unfortunately, a lot of gun crime in that part of Spain in recent times this year. I think the other day, don't quote me on the figure, but it was mentioned something like, I'm going to say 10. It might be 9, it might be 11, it might be 8, it might be 12, but around there. Shootings this year, and of course the one that really stood out for a lot of people back on the Champions League final day, in May, I believe that was, where 2 Britishmen from Glasgow, I think, were gunned down while they were having a pint of lager watching, or a pint of Guinness, I think it was, because it was an Irish pub, watching the Champions League final, gunned down and killed by somebody who has since been arrested, I think, in Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken, but gangland crime related. And again, not sure what the background of this crime was the other day, whether it was gangland or not, but when bullets start flying around at 4 o'clock in the morning, most likely there is something involved there. The drugs, probably. Don't know, but I imagine so. One here from Thems Loves War. Leave NATO, problem solved. Thanks for that. Maybe this is an account that's just been specifically set up to leave this comment here. Thems, what's that? Thems loves war. Leave NATO. Problem solved. Thanks for that. Yeah, simple, isn't it? All of these things. Yeah, just leave Spain can just leave NATO. Won't have to pay the 5% by 2035 or whenever it is that this money needs to be paid. A lot of money to increase your spending from 2% to 5%. I think Spain's currently under 2%, but the idea is to spend 5% of GDP. And lots of comments left on the channel about this. Talking about Spain's welfare system. What would take a hit? Would it be the hospitals? Would it be the education system? Would it be all of the other services that are offered by with taxpayer money here in Spain? Or do you put more money in defense? That's the question. A little bit 50-50, I would say, some of the comments. One's like that one there, leave NATO if you don't want to pay up, and other people saying that NATO is a bully and Spain is being bullied into paying more money. And good on Pedro Sanchez, some people are saying, for standing up to NATO and Donald Trump. But as one article pointed out the other day, probably Mr. Sanchez is not standing up because he believes in standing up to NATO, but he sees it as an opportunity to take the heat off the other scandals that are running rampant here in Spain at the moment when it comes to corruption. Mr. Sanchez has managed to move those stories off the front pages because Donald Trump was involved. And as we know, whenever the word Trump is mentioned, it makes the headlines. And if you've got your name associated with it, that's where the focus goes to. So, Mr. Sanchez. Speaking of Mr. Sanchez, the last comment here, Pedrito has to go, from Laugh. I think anyone who's not a supporter of Mr. Sanchez would agree with this comment that he has to go. And honestly speaking, I think that when the corruption scandals or the alleged corruption scandals are so close to you, because we're talking about his number, his right hand men. All allegations, of course. It's just the police and court's words against their words at the moment until they actually get into court. There have been some court hearings, but nothing has come out of those as of yet. And Pedro Sanchez, of course, trying to distance himself from his former right-hand men. And not only the corruption scandals, but also the scandals of prostitution and parties and all of these things which were allegedly going on with these right-hand men of Mr. Sanchez. So we'll see if we ever get a resolution on this these corruption scandals. We will see, but it's been a pretty busy 4 years as far as corruption is concerned, or 5 for Mr. Sanchez. But this person here saying that he has to go. What do you reckon? Does he have to go, or should he stay? Let me know in the comment section. Now we're going to go into the live chat in just a moment. Before I get there, I'm going to de-blur the background photo. Here it is. This was sent in by Andrea, who has sent in some very good photos in recent times. This is Córdoba, down there in the south of Spain. The river is the Guadalquivir River, and I imagine that today this is a very, very hot city in Spain, Córdoba, down there in the province of Andalusia. Lovely picture, Andrea. Thank you very much for sending it in from New York, I think. And if you have another picture that you would like to see on the backdrop here, spainspeaks@gmail.com is the address that you need to send those photos through to. So thank you very much, Andrea, for this one. And spainspeaks@gmail.com, send those photos through. Now, I'll just de-blur the picture. Some people don't like the photo being blurred. So there we go, de-blurred. spainspeaks@gmail.com if you have anything to send through. Not only pictures, also news. If you've got some news that you want to bring to my attention, as many people have done, that's the email address too. Thank you very much for that. Also, the like icon's going on the screen. I didn't put the like icon on the screen the last time, I don't think. So if you haven't hit it yet, we're currently sitting at 73 likes, 1 dislike. So hit the like icon, please, and we'll see if we can get over the 100 like mark today. It's free. People that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's through the super thanks option on YouTube, Lipo sent a generous donate or super thanks the other day. Thank you very much for that, Lipo. People that have bought me a coffee in recent times, Harry from Scotland bought me a coffee just before the live stream today. Thanks very much for that, Harry. I'll take that one. I'll take you up on that tomorrow when I go and order a coffee. And Patreon supporters, longer-term supporters on Patreon, thank you very much for that support. And also the channel members of this YouTube channel, thank you very much for that support too. It is greatly appreciated, and as I always say, it helps to keep the channel going in these tough economic times. Thank you very much for that. Now, what do I need to do? Well, that is true. I need to go into the chat section. We'll check out what is happening there. Some familiar faces, as always, in the chat. Valued members, of course. Barbara, the first person that I can see here. Hot player flamenca, 36 degrees there today. I imagine the humidity is the killer in that part of Spain. I was down on the Mediterranean last weekend, I think it was. And the humidity is an absolute killer. Absolutely terrible, the humidity in that part of Spain. So 36 degrees with high humidity can be Not the nicest experience. Heidi's in Madrid, suffering there, sweating the big and small stuff in Madrid. Dog has gone on strike, and so has Heidi. Hope everyone is keeping as cool as they can. Yep, my dog, normally after 10 o'clock in the morning, you don't see her much. She tries to keep a low profile, trying to find the coolest part of the home. We don't have air conditioning here, so she crawls under a table in one of the cooler rooms and stays out of the sun, as most of us should be doing, staying out of the sun if we can. John's in the chat here too. High flyer, John, 1965. Evening all. Another hot day in there in the UK. Have a great week. Yeah, I did read that the UK is hot at the moment, John. Sunny also saying here that in Basingstoke, 30 degrees, predicted up to 22 degrees this week. So cooling down a bit. Cooling down, I think. Is that? Or 32? I think it's 22 it says there. Cooling down it must be. Harry, who bought me the coffee. Thanks, Harry. Hello from Edinburgh. Stuart and Spain Speaks. Thank you very much, Harry, for that. Regular visitor to Spain, of course, is Harry. Renan is in the chat too, from Los Angeles, no doubt, saying hello to everyone there. Al is in the chat, joining the discussion today. Speaking of heat waves, 30 degrees and humid in Philadelphia. I think it also has been quite hot in the East Coast, on the East Coast of the US. 30 degrees there. I think New York has been sweltering also. Amanda's in the chat, coming in from Shropshire. Also there in the United Kingdom, of course. Gigi's on the Camino still. Villanova de Arosa, loving the heat there along the ocean. Thanks, Gigi, for that. Valued member 2. Janet coming in from a hot Oxford. However, not as hot as Seville, where Janet's daughter is. That's what we saw. Posting 48 degrees, displaying. Yeah, probably directly in the sun, I would say. That would be the issue with that reading there. 48 degrees. Hot, hot, hot in Seville. Leonor's in the chat too with the emoji here. What's that? Is that some type of clapping emoji? Not sure. I'm not really an expert when it comes to emojis. Lots of people like to use emojis nowadays, but I'm still old school. What else? Let's have a look. Mark is saying a bit cooler on the coast in Campo Amor today than in Murcia, where it's unbearable. Yeah, I can imagine that Murcia City would be unbearable. Mike is coming in from the Netherlands. Won't say those two words together, of course. What else we got going on here? Stephen, hello everyone from a hot and humid North London, counting down the days until getting back to Torrevieja next Monday, where it should be even hotter. Hopefully not, because Torrevieja, I imagine, is one of those coastal places where the humidity can also be unbearable. John, the travelling wino, is in the chat too. Brighton, 24 degrees. Back from Jerez last Tuesday. Hope we're all keeping well. Thanks for that, John. Language teacher on the Camino. Okay, I think it's the first time that I've seen the language teacher on the Camino in the chat. Hello from Poblacion de Campos in Palencia. The high here today, or there today, 99 degrees Fahrenheit. Thanks for that. I'm going to say close to 40 degrees, 99 Fahrenheit or 38 or something like that, I imagine. Hike Ranger coming in from Scottsdale, Arizona, 46 there, heading to Tenerife. Staying at the resort with air conditioning. Probably a good idea. Probably a good idea to stay there. Rappers is in Rhodes, 40 down to 37. Yeah, I've seen that Greece also has the fire issue on some of the, in some of the country, I think, there. And I think also last year, if I'm not mistaken, Greece was also ravaged by fire. Fingers crossed that we don't get the same issues here in Spain, because as we know, the south of Europe tends to light up during the month of July and August. Portugal, Spain, Greece, Italy, maybe as well. Don't know. Language teacher again here. Went for a bike ride to Fromista, back at the house by 11. Yep, got to get back before the sun hits too hard. I always do my exercise as early as I can. Take out the dog, anywhere in time between 7:30, 8:30, 9. Ride your bike between 9 and 10, 9 and 11. You should be okay. But after that, it's when things start to get a little bit too hot for me, at least. John's in the chat. Hello, John. Dave's in the chat too, former Madrid resident, or Alcalá de Henares resident now. But back in Florida, hot and humid. Thanks for the update. Thanks, Dave. Mike coming in from Alberta, Texas, north. 20 degrees there. Plus 20. Iggy's in Jaén, one of the warmer parts of the country, of course, Jaén. Temperature there, as we can see, I imagine would be also in the 40s. Carmel Irish Heritage is this. My son is just back from 3 weeks in Seville. 40 degrees and over several days, going by many weather apps and the digital screens outside pharmacies. The alarm is only now. There we go. Thanks for that. Detroit here from Pinecone. Ola. Thanks for that. Good to see you. What else? The rapper saying they stay out of the sun in Rhodes. Probably a good idea too. Ryan saying that I've noticed the lack of Catalonia travel content on the channel. Any reason for that? Well, basically, I just don't go there. I haven't been there to do any videos. I go to other parts of the country. Most likely, I will be going there soon to do some videos, so stay tuned for that. But plenty of other things to see in Spain other than Catalonia. But when I get there, I'll do some content. What else? JT coming in from St. Louis in the US. I think that's how you pronounce it. St. Louis, is it? Maybe? I'm not sure. St. Louis. Coming out of a heat wave of multiple weeks in the mid-90s. There we go. Welsh Dotto's in the chat. Too late, I guess, but hola. And from the chat, thanks for that, Welsh. What else? Let's have a look. Janice is coming in from Belfast, up there in the north of Ireland. Having a barbecue at the moment on the beautiful sun. We're lucky to have. Wish I had some authentic tapas to accompany the vino. Thanks, Janice, for that. What's this one here? Avalonea mist. Spain has changed so much since I was a child. It feels like it's turning into a desert. Very few birds left or insects, and in general, all life seems to have been disappearing. Well, I don't know where you're talking about there, but where I live, seem to be plenty of birds up in the trees and plenty of insects. Yesterday, the flies were terrible. Maybe not the best insects, but insects nonetheless, flies. What else here? Chrissy also saying no shortage of birds and insects, bees around the garden there, owls, foxes, wild pigs. There we go. Danielle saying that even in Gijón, it's hot. Paul, evening, Stuart, and audience, really hot and humid in London. Not complaining, just hydrating with some wine. Yes, thanks for that, Paul. Pip is in Barcelona, got the air conditioning on and trying not to talk about the electricity bill. That's the next thing that comes, right, Pip? Brienne coming in from Madrid. Hot where he is, I imagine, there in the centre of Madrid. Brienne. Not in Iceland, only 12 degrees there. There we go. Sean coming in from Central California, 41. So it seems to be hot everywhere. Mallorca, red hot, super humid Casco. How disgusting, says Lee. And Bob, greeting from Bob and Jill. Torrevieja, the humidity has not been too bad today. Thankfully, most of us come to Spain for the weather. Should not complain. Yes, Bob, that is true. People come to Spain for the weather, but as we know, the summer temperatures are probably not the reason people come here for. I imagine it's the milder winters, right? And the springs and the autumns, but these peak summer months, they can get unbearable. Mark saying, lucky people in Spain, it's cloudy and muggy in Cheshire, England. Thanks for that, Mark. And Melissa, also in the chat here, just coming home from a walk with the pooch. Missed part of the live? Will we rewind? 28 degrees, sunny with a slight breeze here on the coast in the Basque Country. Thanks, Melissa, for that. Enjoying it, and not as hot up there in the north, but of course, humidity in that part of the country is one of the issues. Now, I'm going to wrap the live stream up. It's been a pleasure, as it always is, to do these live streams and get the interaction with you guys, the viewers in the chat section, the people that take the time to leave a comment there, or people that leave comments on the channel. Love the interaction. Keep it up. I'll be back on Tuesday. Don't know whether it'll be a live stream or not. If it's too hot still, I might try and get the video out in the morning. We'll see. But it will also depend on what the news is like. But if it is a live stream, of course, you'll get the notification if you are subscribed. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, and turn on notifications so that you know the videos when they are released, or whether they are live streams or normal videos, etc. So thanks for watching. I'll be back. Until then, hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, bye-bye from a sweltering Madrid.